Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Conundrum Contingencies. I'll be your host, and my name is Garland. Now, in this here video, I want to focus on skirts. I want to give a shout out to the Most High and welcome you back. I've been a little discouraged lately because I wasn't able to reach out to as many subscribers as I wanted to, but after getting a few, I thought, I should just take it as a grain of salt and continue to do as I do. Now, I believe that John of the Prepared Mind was right when he said that people will go back to more traditional roles once the apocalypse, doomsday, or shtf kicks in. Now, take my lovely wife, Kim Possible, for example. In the last video, I talked about how she said that, she's leaving me and she's going to volunteer to be somebody else's girlfriend when it all goes down. Now, that's all fine and good, but I don't think she really thought it all the way through because she's probably going to end up washing out some laundry by hand. And when I pointed that out, she started frowning. Now, my friends think that in a doomsday situation, she'll fall apart and or she would come running back to me before she would go to a stranger. Be that as it may, guys, you guys are going to have to be on the lookout for hustlers and women with decoys and people playing on your sympathy. Because believe me, it's going to happen. I mean, you can prepare and try to live the best life you can, or you could be doomed and relive the mistakes of people in Katrina and Sandy and other major disasters like that. Now, just think how much better the Katrina situation if 1 out of 4 of those people were preppers. They might have been able to save a few folks or even save themselves. But that's in the past, and we're living in the here and the now. Now, along with that hog or that motorcycle that I got, I heard 2 things. One, I heard that the internet was going to shut down on Veterans Day. I want to salute my fellow veterans. I'm glad that it didn't happen. And I heard that if you place magnets on strategic areas of a vehicle, it prevent an EMP or an electromagnetic pulse from fucking up the vehicle. Now, it's only going to cost you $1 to find out. So I went to Dollar Tree and I bought 2 or 3 packs of magnets, and I put one on the alternator and the voltage regulator and the fuse boxes, and I'm going to put one by the starter and hope for the best. Now, if my car still stalls out, if Mercedes stalls out or a motorcycle stalls out, I'm not going to be mad at the guy that told me that because it only cost me $2, just like the internet didn't crash on the 11th, or at least not here in Florida. So I think that guy meant well, and I'm not going to embarrass him and single him out because he said that. But he's got a successful channel, and hell, I'm glad that he was wrong. But back to the skirts. Now, the reason why I depicted Marilyn Monroe, because she's the most famous and most beautiful skirt of all. Now, I don't know if any of you guys ever noticed, but she doesn't have that much junk in the trunk. She doesn't have that much of a backside, but that's neither here nor there. Now, my wife was like, okay, she runs out of supplies. Okay, have some people in the front of a victim's house, have some people in the back. When the N word runs out, you got people stationed, or we could smoke them out, or we could send a dog in. I said, oh, okay. So she's got a little bit of a brain. That's a very good reason why women outlive men. I mean, women are more likely to take all their meds and follow the doctor's advice to the letter, whereas men will probably take the medication until they feel better. But that's not necessarily a bad thing in shtf because now I've got antibiotics left over that I can use to treat something. So I asked Kim Possible, I said, Kim, so will you be participating in these rants? She said, oh no, that's for big, strong men. So I guess she's a bit of a user. She's smart enough to let the men get shot up or get a kick in the ass or get a knockout or deal with a barbed wire door in the rain. So, my wife might outlive us all, but my friends were quick to point out, that she might come back to me before she goes to a stranger, or she might fall apart during the EMP or something like that. So, I wish her the best of luck. Now let's talk about some good stuff. there was one Helen Hardy. Helen Hardy used to be my landlord. And she had a heart of gold, and she would help people out. And she made us save these things. This is the styrofoam that comes off your meat pack, after the plastic. Now, please forgive my pressure cooker. So this is actually the third time that I've had to shoot this. The camera stopped when I was trying to help this Arab woman when I was filming at the gas station, plus it had some music on there that might have kept me from getting some monetization or something like that. And she probably would have thought I was a bigot if I did help her. And it turns out it had actually stopped a long time ago. And then when I was doing dishes and making coffee and filming, I didn't have any sound. But, shit happens. You can do everything right and it can go wrong. Don't be like my little sister. She's like, okay, what if I get all these preps and I get all this equipment and I get all this food and then my basement floods? Well, I didn't bother explaining to my little sister that half of her prep would still been okay, but I just said you did the best that you could to protect your family. I believe that you should do the best that you can. I mean, having a heart of gold, I don't think it's going to get you through a bad situation when you're surrounded by madmen. Let me kill that. Take the top off of it. So, all right. Okay, that hiss is a little bit better than that popping, I think. So, madmen aren't going to care about what you believe in. That might stop them from killing you if they have any morals or any values left, but I doubt it. You're going to have to outsmart and outthink the government. If you're around and they start talking about, well, if they enforce a Sunday law, which sounds Christian, but it's really not, it's the beginning of the end. And if they start rounding up guns, it's the beginning of the end. Because, the whole reason why we study history in the first place is so that we can make better and more educated decisions than the citizens that came before us. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's just the way it is. There's no getting around it. Now, say like you're a person of faith, like I am. Or let's just say you have faith and your faith is different from mine. Let's say that you're not Christian. I don't really think that the Lord is going to send an angel of light with a few cases of water because you chose not to stock up when he blessed you with the money to stock up a prayer in the first place. Now, if God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of the evil things that they did, I don't think he forgot how to do that. And if God blessed the Israelites with manna, manna was the food that fell from the sky that he sent. I don't think he forgot the recipe. But what makes you so special is that the Lord's going to send an angel of light with water or some manna or something like that. I think that's unrealistic. Yes, there's FEMA, yes, there's the Red Cross, but I would like you to be in a position where the Red Cross is an option, something for you to think about, not something for you to lean on, depend on. Don't be like Lois Lane counting on Clark Kent and Superman to save her every time she gets in a pickle. Because one day Superman might let you down. You could do everything right and your house get destroyed, you can still end up in a FEMA camp. At least you tried. Don't just lay over there and roll over like children. People are going to be heartless and ruthless at the end. I remember when I was a kid, and one of my teachers said he recognized the leadership qualities in me. Well, I remember one day that the traffic backed up and we were only a few blocks from the bus stop. And everybody just sat there like this. Finally, I told the bus driver, open the damn door. Open the gate. She opened it. I was all the way up to the top of the hill before the next child decided that, hey, why don't I just walk the rest of the way home? And I'm sitting up there at the top of the hill, going like this. Because I realized it finally caught on, but, I don't need anybody to tell me to harm myself. or stock up or protect myself. But you might, and that's okay, because you might be caught up in the hustle and the bustle of 9 to 5, and I'm already retired, so I got a little bit more time to think about these things. But, you know, my mother depended on everybody to get her through, and I grew up and I decided that I didn't want to be like that. I like helping people, but let me give you an example of something else that happened, okay, because I didn't always have a Mercedes and a motorcycle and retired and doing good. I've been home before. I've been down and out. And the advantage of when I was down, I had the Veterans Administration behind me. But not every time, because when I went to college, I didn't really know where I was going, but I knew I didn't want to stay in the norm. So anyway, one day, this guy was being a jerk. And a voice inside my head said, go to the front of the soup kitchen line. And I actually argued back. And I said, why would I do that? And then the voice said, go to the front of the line. I'm just, you know, come from preaching and doing the whole thing. So I was like, why would you want to? Before I could even finish the thought, a big fight broke out. And there was this little guy about 5'2", 5'3", and he was fighting the missing link. How big was his opposition? Cross John Cena with Mr. T, okay, against Joe Pesci or something. Man, so I stopped the fight, and the guy had a little bit of reverence for me. He actually said, oh, you got the preacher helping you. And I convinced him to stop just as the other guy fell down. He would have stomped him into the past. This guy was ex-bounty hunter, trained assassin, used to be in the Army, and all this and all. They looked like he had posture like he was a Golden Glove or something. So I asked a little bit, I said, why did you hit that big monster like that? He said he tried to house orange juice. I said, house orange juice, what do you mean? He said, I went back to the line and I asked for a second cup of orange juice. He denied me, so I hit him. And as I talked to the guy and he started asking me for credentials and prove that you're a real preacher and this and that, I wanted to kick the guy's ass myself. So I almost got a liver transplant or a broken jaw because this guy couldn't get a second cup of orange juice. And he wasn't even grateful. He even said I didn't save him. I told God to protect him speaking, but I was throwing the vessel that he used to save him. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of people cutting in line and thinking their kids are more important than you or their kids are more important than your kids, and you just have to be prepared for all that. Now, I talk to people in my life what I know, except for the stuff about the EMP. So let me show you. Now, I set off for a bunch of stuff. I set off for some jigglers, which will open up any lock, and I bought this yesterday, and it works perfectly. $4. Now, GPS is all fine and wonderful, but you need to know how to use a map, and I've already tried to encourage you guys, buy another can opener because your can opener is going to take a beating, okay? Make photocopies of maps or go get free maps from the welcoming center and stuff like that, or the library, or the back of the yellow pages. I mean, it's really going to make a difference. You really need to know where you're going. Now, my plan is later today, as you can see, I got the aluminum foil. I'm going to turn this into a Faraday cage, and I'm going to put newspaper and cardboard on the inside to make sure my device don't touch it. I'm going to put my walkie-talkies and my scanners and some of my flash drives inside of this old popcorn container. I think it's almost 2 years old. Instead of just having them in the open like that, because I think that'd be a fool's choice, and it's only going to take me like 5 or 10 minutes to do all that. Then I'm going to go find a cardboard box, and then I'm going to double layer the cardboard box, and then I'm going to put the laptops that I'm not using and anything that won't fit inside of that, so I won't get caught with my pants down. I mean, if you talk it, you got to preach it. Now, a guy said, you know, the internet was going to crash on the 11th. It did not crash. I'm glad, but like I said, you know, I'm not going to try to embarrass him because I think he meant well. And if my Mercedes does not start during shit hits the fan, at least I try to protect it with the magnets that I place, and it only cost me $1. So like I said, I put a magnet on the starter, the voltage regulator. There's 3 fuse boxes, and that little motorcycle's got 3 fuse boxes too. So it just is what it is. All right, so now let's have a little bit of fun. Now we're going to go back to Maryland here. So, I mean, don't depend on FEMA or the Red Cross or some man to save you when you can save yourself. I mean, I know it's cool to feel clever and slick and not get paint or dust or rust or dirt on your nails, but that can come back and kick you in the ass. Okay. All right, now there's our gal Marilyn. A very beautiful woman, but no jump in the trunk. All right, that's why I use it for a thumbnail to get your attention. But, okay, like I said, I have a God complex, but I can't save you. Somebody named Jesus Jesus Emmanuel was sent to save you. But I don't want you bumbling around like these guys. I'm trying to buy you some time. I mean, what does it hurt you if you put 5 cans of chili under the bed and 5 gallons of bottled water or 2 cases of water? You could always reuse that stuff for later. But what if it takes FEMA 3 weeks to get to your little town? All that stuff will be gone. You know, what will you do when the toilets start backing up? My wife couldn't understand why I had one of those old people porta potties on the back porch in case something happens. The same reason I wear that orange vest on occasion when I ride the motorcycle. And she didn't understand that either. But, you know, that's on her. That's impossible. But I don't want you bumbling and stumbling around like these guys. So learn a little bit about solar flares and electromagnetic pulse and what you can do to counter it. You don't have to buy those expensive Mylar bags. In fact, I did a test the other day, and I stuck my cell phone inside of my microwave. I didn't turn it on like a dumbass. But even with the door just half closed, I didn't have any reception and nothing could go through. So if you got an old washer and dryer, or you got an old refrigerator or old microwave, you could probably make a Faraday cage on cheap. Just make sure there are no cracks, and make sure if you do use Mylar bags, make sure they're over 3 millimeters thick, because it come back and bite you in the ass. Now is the time to prepare. So you need to have a plan, you know, like this guy. He always has a plan. They don't always work, but at least, you know, he took the time to prepare. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm glad that you have faith, because I'm an ordained minister. But what do they say? Faith without works is dead. You gotta put something into it. The Lord could have miracled Noah's ark together, but He made him and his family do the work. You know. Same thing with Joseph. Joseph and his people had to do some work. They had to prepare, because the Lord told them in advance, 7 days of party time and then 7 days of famine. And if they didn't listen, they would have been impoverished and wiped out. But they had the good sense to prepare. And I'm asking you to be like them. Don't be a victim. You know, something could happen. Despite your best efforts, you might end up in a FEMA camp and end up needing that bug-out bag, or just you have to relocate. Even a man of steel can be in prison. I've been to jail before. Sometimes I didn't even do anything wrong. But, I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, I got a buddy. He will not carry cash, and he's too damn dumb and proud. He might have $5 grand in the bank right now. What good will that do him if there's some kind of freeze or power failure? He'll be stuck like Chuck, riding around on a quarter or tank of gas. It doesn't have to be that way. I was able to reach out to some of the people at the free buffet for the veterans, and they understood the value of having a $500, but not 5 big bills. You need some 5s, some 10s, and some 20s so you won't get cheated. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. And if there is a chance that the American dollar could become worthless a week, 2 weeks, or even a month after the first event. You know, I'm not asking you to be like me. Like the other day, I bought one of those EMF readers where people use it to test for radiation, microwave leaks, and all that stuff. And I had some fun. I went to Walmart and checked out their seafood. It seemed like the refrigerators had more of an effect, or giving more readings than the produce and the other stuff itself. But I mean, it is what it is. I got a water tester. I'm not asking you to go out there and buy a water tester. I'm just asking you to buy food and water and get you some weapons together so that you can make a stand if you have to. And I want you to be smart when you're making the stand, because I can assure you that you don't have an S on your chest. I don't have an S on my chest either. You know how I know? Because I have bullet holes on my chest, and they didn't come from me working for Uncle Sam, which I did. They came from me hitching a ride and a guy turning on me. I went to the club that same night and I shook it off, but there was a chance that I wasn't going to be able to shake it off. Okay? I want you to learn from my mistakes. Watch who you hitch a ride from. Okay? And watch how you talk to these servicemen and women and these cops when the end comes, because they're going to have little tolerance, little patience, and they're going to be under stress, and they're going to be doing things that they don't want to do. You know, guy can blow your brains out with tears in his eyes. You're still gone, and you're going to get your eternal reward a little bit faster than normal. You know, I don't want to see you there or cremated for the next 60 years. The only way you're going to last 60 more years is if you're blessed and if you're